Good to see you guys. I've got my VA issued glasses on. A lot better than the old birth control glasses they used to give everybody with the brown rims and stuff. It's kind of cool. If you go to the VA now, they have like for optometry, they have like this whole selection of different frames and glasses you can wear and do all kinds of great stuff over there. A lot of friends work for the VA. A lot of people got notices. It's unfortunate. Two of my friends uh, were laid off that I know of so far. But you know, it is what it is, and I think they're going to be okay. I do think they're going to be okay. Um, was talking to a friend of mine, and this is what this video is about. It's about social and behavioral science. And the thing about social and behavioral science is I have a degree in it. And some of the things I learned years ago, many years ago, I never thought I would actually see or use. And if you guys have been looking at some of the posts that I've been putting up, um, Benny, Benny, this dog, I tell you, get in here, get in here, you stay, sit. These cats keep messing them up. But sorry about that. It's behavioral science, right? And a lot of posts that I've been putting up, there's a reason I've been putting those posts up. Not only am I seeing, uh, something I studied actually in motion and actually seeing reactions to certain things and how certain groups move. Wow, it actually works. It actually works. And if you know the study of behavioral sciences, which is a part of psychology, social and behavioral science is a small part of psychology. It's in that field, right? I'm not an expert. I'm just a novice that took the courses and I passed it and everything. And it's eye-opening what I am finding out. And I know you guys are saying, oh, you're pissing people off, you're doing this, you're doing that. Being retired, it just gives me something to do. And, and I put my hands on a lot of different things, all kinds of things. But um, that was one thing that I was kind of challenged to do because it was the election season and Donald Trump was running and people really hate him and you got the two different parties and all this other stuff, right? But no, I stand 10 toes down on what I've been doing and saying in regards to what I'm doing. But um, the responses from some of you guys in regards to some of my posts, it's interesting. Very interesting. I get messages and I reply to the messages, as you guys know. I reply to them and it's just mind blowing how we feel that we can tell other people how they should live in a country that's supposed to be free, forgetting that not everybody has our shared experiences, especially when it comes to our family dynamic. The way I'm raised is totally different than the way everybody else is raised. The only other person on this earth that is raised in the same structure that I was raised in is my older brother. And even my older brother doesn't have the same value system based on his life experiences and uh, out in the world on his own and doing that. But our foundation is the same. So, keyword, behavioral science. Behavioral science. All right, brother Tim, dude, you are so real about emotional women. I personally experienced something this evening during a very simple conversation with three women tonight. Two of them remained calm, but one was very deep in her feelings, freaking laughable, and sad at the same time. Yeah, I mean, brother Tim, I'm telling you, it is a fact. And I was somebody sent me this whole log messaging in Messenger. I didn't want to read the whole damn log. I wasn't going to do that. I read the first initial part of it because if you're going to send me all of that, you might as well call me. I'm not going to read a whole Bible. I'm not going to do it. And, you know, being a female, and the funny thing is, Tim, you can identify the feminists with some of the posts that I put up. At least in my experiment, I was able to identify the feminists. But what this woman was saying was how she felt, and oh, it's not right, and oh my gosh, you know, we should be, get back here. Don't make me close that door. Don't make me close the door. This dog wants to do what he wants to do. But, you know, her whole soliloquy of what she was telling me was how she felt, how she feels, you know, her value system, what, you know, what people should be feeling. And we should be sympathetic. And don't get me wrong, feelings are, how do you say it? Fathomable. I mean, they're real. Feelings are real. But feelings do not trump. I'm sorry you guys get triggered by that word, but I'm not using it for that guy. I'm using it for this. Feelings does not trump fact. Okay? It doesn't trump fact. I can feel that black people should be equal to everybody else in this country, right? Unfortunately, the fact is that isn't the case, right? Fact is what is. Feelings is what should be. What makes you feel good. You know, it's not real. Feelings are real in the aspect of real, but it isn't based in fact. Fact always trumps feelings. I feel I shouldn't have to deploy, but the fact is I'm deploying, right? For those of us that are in the military, right? I feel that I should be promoted, but the fact is you're not being promoted, right? So it's just interesting. And to give women some grace, women, because they're natural nurturers, that is their role. Their main role is to nurture children. That is a woman's main role, and to nurture her husband and all that other stuff that comes with that. But that is why women are more into their feelings. They're more emotional. When a woman has sex with a man, it's an emotional connection, right? Whereas a man can have sex with a woman, and it's just the act of having sex. There's no emotional connection there unless he really loves that girl. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm just, as a, you know, guy, I'm just going to, you know, say it for, you know, speaking for myself. Yes, you could be married to a woman that you love and you will never leave, and you know, and there's cases that's actually happened, and guys will go bang other chicks. But there's nothing there with the other chicks. Women, when they lay down with a dude, they always leave a emotional attachment of some sort to it. Now, today in the modern world, we have a lot of these masculine women that are feminists, and they've taken on masculine traits, but that still doesn't trump the fact that they don't think logically first. Not all women, but majority of women go off how they feel, not what is logical. You know, I feel my children should have the best. Okay, you feel that way, but is that the case? No, it's not. So the funny thing in my experiment is I have been able to identify a lot of feminists in my peer group. in my peer group, I have noticed in most of the responses I get are from women who are not married. Very strange. The women that are married, they don't say a word. Very strange. Very strange. I mean, there's a few. I mean, there's a couple, but I'm just saying overall, mostly single, bitter women respond to my posts. So here's the thing. This is why I got on this too. Benny's doing great, getting bigger. He's a Staffordshire pitty. So he's not like that big, muscular, strong pitty. He's like a taller, leaner pit. He'll be muscular, but not like steroid muscular. He'll just be a, nice looking dog. But in this experiment, and I'm not disclosing feelings, ladies. That's a woman's nature, is to go by feelings. So I'm not throwing that out the window or anything. I'm just giving you grace. But women have to understand, men do not go off of feelings. See, and this is the problem we're having in this country. Women want men to think like them. That's not going to happen with real men. It's not going to happen. Now, we've raised 3 generations of young men being raised by single mothers or whatever the situation might be. Of course, when that situation happens, it's obvious some trait of femininity is going to rub off on that young man. I was raised by a widowed mother, right? I'm an alpha male. That's just how it is. I just came out an alpha male because I know what my role is in society and in my family structure. Brother Tim says, just some advice to women wanting to hold intelligent conversation. Don't clap your hands aggressively when talking. Don't point fingers in close proximity to other spaces. No need to elevate your voice loudly beyond our conversation. Stop the cussing and accusations. Now, see right there? That's emotion. See, you just proved my point. That's emotion. I said what I said. She's upset. She's elevating all into her emotion. She's not using her logic where she can sit and talk calmly. Brother Tim, you and I, we talk all the time, and sometimes it gets a little elevated, because we're emphasizing a point. But all in all, we can have a conversation because men, we go by our logic first. Logic. And we also know that if I'm in a conversation with you and you got a stick and I got a stick, this conversation might not go too well. Okay, there might be some damage in this conversation if we have a weak response. You know what I mean? It's like if you can't take criticism, you shouldn't be having like deep discussions. And I'm just going to say this for a lot of my family and friends on here. Everybody's like, oh, Donovan's been crazy. And, oh my God, he's a Republican. Not a Republican. Oh, my God, he's not a Democrat. And he's going against Kamala. And he hates women and all this other stuff. All of that was an emotional response from people who did not use their logic first and ask themselves, why is Donovan saying what he is saying? Does it make logical sense? Because I'm not going off of my feelings. I'm going off of logic. I keep voting for a party that does nothing for me. That's not logical. Would you vote for a party that doesn't do anything for you? I don't think you would. Logically, I'll give you that. That's logic. That's not feelings. Feelings is, I feel that, when I get them in the office, they're going to do a great job. That's feelings. Brother Tim says, you nailed it. She was the only one of her friends not wearing a ring. The other 2 were married and remained calm about the conversation. Brother, yes. But see, when you point these things out, these feminazis, because that's what I call them, feminazis, and I know I shouldn't be insulting people, but why would that be an insult if you are a feminist? I mean, saying Nazi part is really bad about it, but and I don't mean to insult anybody when I do that, but you know, if you're a feminist, because most people that are feminists deny it. They deny it. They're in denial and they're delusional because there's no way you would act and be that way when addressing men and talking around men and, you know, doing those things. Only feminists try to act like men. You know what I mean? So the answer to my little experiment was and is, get ready, you guys. This is a shocker. And most of you guys passed. Most of you guys passed. The answer to my experiment is not to respond at all. That's the answer. Is not to respond to me at all. You know, you see it, okay. All right, hey, he's on some tangent or whatever. You just don't respond. That's the answer. You just don't respond. And most of you guys did not respond. Most of the fellas, I say a few fellas responded, but most fellas did not respond. Most people did not respond. And the fellas that did respond, they responded in the positive, using logic and saying, well, why are you doing this? Versus attacking me and not knowing the backstory. So this goes into the behavioral part of social science. Social group, right? My social peers, who I hang with, who know me, right? Regardless of my politics, if you know me, you just, the best thing to say is, that's Donovan's just doing his thing. That's all. I'm a Democrat. I stand on this, whatever. I'm just not going to respond. The funny thing is a lot of my redneck friends, and I know I should not be calling you guys out, but you guys know who you are, those guys that actually believe in some really extreme stuff. You guys know who you guys are. They didn't respond. None of them responded. None of them. You know, a lot of people say, oh, well, you're always on to the women, whatever. So when are we supposed to correct the women in our communities? Because women aren't correcting themselves. I'm just saying. The women that are married, not one of them responded to me. Not one. And if you're a single woman, I'm not saying anything about, you know, you being single, you know, whatever, you know, that's your business. There's nothing wrong with that, being a single woman. But notice the women that are married did not respond. Most of the single women did not respond. Of the single women, the only women that responded were, I would categorize them as feminists. They have no logic to stand on, just how they feel. A woman should be in charge. Based on what? When I would ask these women what makes Kamala Harris such a great leader, they couldn't tell me one thing. Well, you know, the world is messed up because of a man. Okay. And where is this Wonder Woman land where women are leading and, you know, showing us a better way to do it? The world was invented on a patriarchy. That's a fact. There is no matriarchy around the world. The only matriarchy that has a little bit of strength is in the black community. And that's because of the 70% of single motherhood within the black community in America. The patriarchy is strong in Africa. I've been there. Go over there and try some. You ladies, go over to Africa, and I'm talking to the ladies in the black community, and try some of the crap that you guys get away with here over there and see what happens. And see who really cares about your rights. You guys got it made down out here and you don't even know it. So, no, Brother Tim says, sorry to take up the conversation, but this is perfect timing. Her friends tried to say that she had too many drinks, but that's not an excuse for a 40-year-old woman. Yes, all of them knew that I was a happy married man of 34 years. God bless you, brother. God bless you. And got a good one. She made it look bad for black women. This is why single black men won't ask for hand in marriage within their race. Why should they, with the attitudes they deal with? I am fortunate for my bride. Amen, brother. You got a good one. I mean, you know, hey, I'm jealous. I mean, I divorced twice. Well, mostly because of the military, but divorced twice. So yeah, man, I get it. But see, a lot of people see this and they don't understand. No man. Let me ask you guys this, and see if you could get this, Brother Tim. Since the beginning of time, what has changed in men other than a high rate in the last 60 years of homosexuality? And that is predominantly because of single motherhood, raising young men is a part of it. I'm not saying it's the whole thing. It's a part of it, right? Men fundamentally haven't changed since the day of inception, since the day we've been here. We're protectors, we're providers, we're producers, we're builders, you know, whatever, right? We're doing the same thing we've done since the beginning of time. What's changed? Women. In the last 60 years, women have been told they need to get their asses out of the home and go work. Women don't need men. Women don't do this. Women. And they've been brainwashed to believe that, and especially in our community. Whenever there is something that is, I don't know what it is about the black community, but we always go extra. We just go extra, you know? Yeah, Tim's got a good one, man. You got a good one. I ain't gonna lie. I've seen a couple pictures on your page. You got a good one, brother. So, but what's changed in the last 60 years? Women. Their mentality has changed to where they want to be men. But guess what? And this is something I looked up as well. They said, and it has been said, that if women stopped working, every woman in the world just stopped working right now and said, we are not working, screw it, we're done. We're not working anymore. The world will go on. Women stop working, okay, world's going to go on. Let's reverse that. If men stopped working, the world would crumble. Did you guys get that? Did you get that? Am I lying? Think about it. Everything women enjoy in a civilization, even if it's in a tribe, was built by men. The only thing I give women credit for is the GPS system. And if you guys know what I mean by the GPS system, then you know. Fellas, how many times you've been with your lady, you're driving to the event, and you don't know where you're going, but she does, and she's telling you, turn here, turn there, and you don't do it? So a woman got tired and frustrated of that, and she invented the GPS system to where now we can Google map it and we get to our destination and she's not frustrated and we're not frustrated. That's what I've been told. That is the only contribution of significance that women have done that has actually helped relationships. Okay? It's the GPS system. So anyway, but I want you guys to think about that. if men stopped working, civilization would crumble as we know it. I don't know what it is where these women got souped up in their heads that they could, go and build a civilization and it's going to be great, whatever. That has never happened. As a matter of fact, there's a show, a British show, almost like Survivor. It came out like maybe 6 years ago, and they put men on an island and they put women on an island. Within a couple of hours, the men had their tents up, their camp made, everything, and they were in the beach swimming and doing whatever they wanted to do and fishing and all this other stuff. The women, it took them over 2 weeks to build their camp, and then when they built it, the producers had to kind of cheat and kind of help them and throw stuff out there. The women basically just sat there in their camp. It's on YouTube. If you guys want to look it up, if I get the link, I'll show you. But this is the problem that we're having in the modern age with women. They have been led wrongly to believe that they don't need men. But you ask a man if we need women, most men will say, yes, we need women. For what? To make our kids, to raise our kids, to nurture us, to make the home a little bit more, livable and stuff like that. Everybody has a role. But when you ask the modern woman, does she need a man? First thing about, no, I don't need a man. But then they complain when a man doesn't want to help them do what it is, change a tire, or to do this. And then that's the first thing that they'll come out and they'll say, what's wrong with these men? Where's the chivalry? Well, you said you didn't need us. So my experiment, I didn't think it was going to get the results that it has gotten, and it's gotten it. And I'm just shocked. I am just shocked at what I was able to find out there. And there's more things I'm going to put out there. But for friends and family, future reference, and it's not just my page, it's for anybody's page. If there is something that you see that is detrimental to your values and your core system, the best response is not to respond at all. That's the best response. And if you are going to respond, and you're going to, if you are going to respond in a way to where it's more acquisitive. Like in a question type thing. Hey, why would you put this up? What does that mean? Because obviously you're not understanding that person's background or their motive to post what they post, right? You're not understanding it. Because as human beings, we reference everything from how we were raised and our value system. And people keep forgetting, your value system is not my value system. I'm a black Catholic. There's a lot of black Catholics, believe it or not. Okay. But when I was coming up, there wasn't a lot of black Catholics in my diocese. There was some, there was a few of us, but the majority of people were people, and Catholics were ritualistic. Everything is ritual. I can go to any Catholic church in the world and I could participate in the church because I know the different steps. Stand up, sit down, kneel, get back up, whatever. It's all the same stuff, right? So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting thing. Not telling anybody what to do or how to do it. I'm just saying the best answer is to not respond. And most of the married couples never responded to me. Why is that? Ask yourself that. Why is it that married people they didn't respond? Even if you thought I put something up that was anti-woman, most married women didn't even respond. Why is that? These are questions. But again, it's very interesting how the human mind thinks. Again, I have a degree in social and behavioral science, one of my many degrees, and I still believe what I believe when I post what I post. Not backing down from that. But have you guys noticed? I don't know if anybody's noticed anything. Well, I don't know if anybody's noticed anything. If I've ever come on your timeline, not a message, a timeline, have I ever said anything negative? No. I will never say anything negative on anybody's timeline, ever. And that's the best way to respond. Even if I don't agree with you, I am not going to come on your page and say anything negative or get in a conversation with you in a public forum. If I want to get in a conversation with you, I'll send you a message. And some of you guys, we've messaged. No problem. But I'm not going to be in a public forum and say anything negative. A lot of my friends are conservative. A lot of my friends are conservative. A lot of my friends are Democrats. A lot of my friends were, I'm with her, woo-wee, Kamala this, Kamala that, just throwing it in my face, right? Just throwing it at me. Posting on my page, their stuff. Then Kamala loses. Isn't it funny how we don't want done to us what we do to others? Social and behavioral science. Behavior. Very interesting. But me and my brother Tim, we be having some great conversations. I'm going to have Tim on a show, and we're going to chop it up. Me and him are going to chop it up because he's a hardcore Democrat. And here's another thing I want you guys to think about. Nationally, I'm known as a recovering Democrat. It amazes me how people do not understand what a recovering person is. I'll give you an example. If you're a recovering alcoholic, what does that mean? You're an alcoholic. If you're a recovering sex addict, what does that mean? You're a sex addict. If you're a recovering dog lover, you're a dog lover. I'm a recovering Democrat. I'm a Democrat at heart. I just can't vote for him anymore because it is detrimental to me. I don't care how you guys vote. I'd hope you have the information, but it is what it is. Behavioral and social science. People do not pay attention to these things. If I'm known as a recovering Democrat, I'm telling you I'm a Democrat at heart. But I can't be a Democrat because it's bad for me. So I'm an independent. Just wanted to break that down for you guys today. I'm still trying to figure out this Facebook Live thing because it's supposed to be able to use the green screen and sharing and all this other stuff, and I just can't. I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is. But you guys hang in there. And let me get back to my story about my friend that got laid off at the VA. So I've got these Democratic friends that are freaking out, women, that are freaking out and saying, oh my God, Donovan, this is going to back up the VA system, and, you being a veteran, you won't be able to get your appointments and stuff, and it might take months. Yeah, you're right. He lays off all of those people out of the VA. It's going to take months for me to get an appointment. However, Donald Trump's first term, he gave the VA authorization to outsource your medical care if needed. So again, if I really needed to see a doctor for a certain condition that I have, I can go and outsource it to my civilian doctor or to a doctor that they want to send me to. This is T'Challa, my Black Panther. Feral cat. He's a feral. I picked him up off the street. He's really fat. I mean, he's a really bad built bodied cat. Look at him. And you see his little ear here where it's cut? That's an indication they're feral. If you see a cat that has one of his ears cut, that means he's been caught and released. They caught him, cut his spayed and neutered him, and threw him back and put him back in his environment. So that's what happened to him, and he was hurt, and I ended up fixing him, and he just never left, and he loves to eat. Don't you? You love to eat. Don't you? He has very short legs. But so again, I understand what people are saying, but they're not giving you the full context of the issue. And the issue is, no, it won't, because I can outsource my health thing if I need to. So what that person said was really not true. It's a scare tactic, and we have to stop letting these people, behavioral, use scare tactics to maneuver us in our logic and how we think. Fear. Your feelings should not be your first emotion when it comes to information. You need to go by logic. I always say this. You should be more Spock than Kirk. Kirk did everything by emotion, how he felt. But he always referred to Spock, who was logical, and told him what he needed to know. Right? So Brother Tim says, hold on, this cat moved my mouse. Question, do you feel like freedom of speech being pulled away from us on social media? I experienced something regarding my last post regarding on MSNBC, on something MSNBC. I will openly speak in a video tomorrow. Yeah, outsourcing works for me, yeah. Yeah. Well, you saw what Mark Zuckerberg did. If anybody that was conservative said anything in regards to Donald Trump, they silenced that. So yeah, freedom of speech is being taken away. And now the Democrats, now they're not in power. They are saying they want to do more censorship of the social media. See, this is what politicians don't want. They don't want us to have the information. They don't want us to be able to communicate the way that we're communicating. Brother Tim, you're all the way in Maryland. I'm all the way in California, and we're having conversations about what's going on in real time. That has never happened before up until the internet and stuff, stuff like that recently. Before it was like, what's happening in Maryland is Maryland and California is California. Now we can see that that's kryptonite to politicians. Information is kryptonite to politicians. I may not convince you to stop being a Democrat, but I can convince you on some issues that you need to be aware of or we might have mutual interest in. That is kryptonite to politicians. It's like the reparations situation. Let's say I was a Republican and you're a Democrat. We can agree, hey, reparations. What's going on? Black people need it. You've given it to everybody else. We're on the same page with that. That is kryptonite to politicians. So yes, censorship, both parties. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. Both parties believe in censorship. Right now, the Republicans, they do not like the negative information in regards to Donald Trump. That is a fact. So what does that tell us, you guys? Social and behavioral science. That tells us that these parties are the same. They're the same party. They get their money from the same group of people. Wasn't Mark Zuckerberg under the Biden administration? When the Biden administration told him, hey, you need to root out fake news or whatever, and he had all those restrictions and stuff on Facebook, And then Trump comes in, and then he's sitting behind Trump during the inauguration, and now we're more free to talk on his platform. So yes, absolutely, that's what all this is about. That's what all this is about, freedom of speech. And see, what's happening in the world or in the United States, and I'm going to say this because I'm guilty of it as well. It's our fault. It's not Donald Trump's fault. I can't blame a crook for being a crook. That's his vocation. That's what he does. Joe Biden was out of his mind. I don't know who was running the government the last 4 years. That's a fact. The man had cognitive decline. Nobody could dispute that. So who was making all these decisions? Some people say it was his wife. I don't know. But all of this stuff that's happening, it's our fault because we weren't paying attention. We were too busy buying our houses, going on our cruises, having our multiple women, partying, and all this other stuff because we weren't going to city council meetings. It all starts at the grassroots. These politicians just don't appear in Congress. They start at the grassroots. That's why I tell people, don't tell me nothing about politics if I haven't seen you at one city council meeting. If you can't tell me who your council member is, don't tell me nothing about politics. Don't tell me nothing. I've got video. I'm at my city council meetings. But it took corruption in my city to get me off my ass. Because I was just like everybody else. I'm just living my life, just traveling, doing my thing. Now we have corruption at every level of government. And the way these two parties deal with it is they keep the American people fighting against each other. For the life of me, why would any politician or American be against an audit of government agencies to see if our money is being utilized effectively and not being wasted? Who would be against that? Democrats they have more energy to stop these audits than they do to fight for reparations. It's kind of crazy to me. So again, social and behavioral science is one of my degrees. And I got most of my degrees under the military program. So I want to do a plug for the military because it's not for everybody, but for me, I socked it to them education-wise. And I got 8 degrees, not 8 degrees. I got 12 degrees out of it. So, 2 CCAS, 2 Embry-Riddle degrees, 2, man, I got usually 2 degrees from each school. So my highest degree is just a bachelor's. Because in aviation, a doctorate doesn't matter. A master's in aviation doesn't matter. What matters in the aviation field is your reputation. So if you're a crack mechanic like my brother is, Brother Tim is, it's your reputation. I want him to be my mechanic because he's the best. I heard he was the best. That's why. A pilot. The one thing you'd use to deal with a pilot, the first thing you ask a pilot isn't, hey, what kind of plane you fly? Doesn't matter. If you want to know how experienced that pilot is, ask him how many flight hours you got. That will tell you exactly how experienced that pilot is. So anyway, you guys, real quick, this cat has come up here and he is shedding and it is flying. What's up, man? Come here, come here. Come here, handsome. He's a handsome. Oh my God, this cat loves kisses and he loves rubbing against me. And he's a fighter. He is a fighter. But he is a sweet cat. He is the sweetest cat. And my friend Sylvia, she has a good cat on there too. So, And you know, somebody pointed this out to me, and I didn't even realize it. Other than my Siamese cat, who has a black face, most of my animals are black and white. Benny's black and white. He's all black. Misty is a tuxedo. She's 17 years old this year, and he's 10. No, wait. How old are you now? Yeah. He's 10. He's 10. He's 10 years old. So, yeah, most of my animals are black and white. I don't know if I do that subconsciously. I probably do. You know, but George, he was a tabby, so you know, I do have, you know, cats that are different. And Claude, who's in the garage right now, he's a calico like mix. So, you know, I like animals based on their personality. So anyway, you guys, I don't want to take up too long. I just wanted to get on here and announce a little bit of something, and I'm gonna figure this live out sooner or later. Sooner or later. Still raining here in Southern California. He loves when I grow my beard. Oh my God, he loves it. But yeah, spring is here. So, all right, Tim, brother Tim, we're gonna. I was thinking about that show, so we're gonna get you on there. We're gonna have to chop it up live, man, so we can just, you know, get these ideas out here. So I'm working on it. Like I said, I got to get some dates down. You know, when you're gonna be free. So when we get those dates down, I'll give you a shout out. All right, you guys, have a great night. Be blessed. Again, always remember, you don't have to respond to everything you see. And if you do respond, and that person responds back to you and you don't like it, it is what it is. Which is another reason I don't put anything negative on other people's pages. And also, I don't really get involved in a public forum on people's pages. Think about this, you guys. A lot of people are on Facebook. They have family and nephews and nieces and things like that. So I don't want to get in a conversation where I can talk the way I want to talk and be disrespectful, because I don't want your kids to see that. I don't want your grandkids to see me, you know, saying MFer or, you know, damn and, you know, whatever, you know, how we talk. So you got to always take that into consideration too. Behavioral, social, and behavioral. So that's why I don't post anything negative, because I know people have family members on their pages, and if I can't say anything positive, I'm not going to say anything at all. I'll send you a message. So you guys got to be cognizant of things like that. A lot of us now are grandparents. Come on, you don't want your grandkids seeing you, you know, getting cursed out or, you know, whatever, and being disrespected. You know, so always keep that in mind. All right, you guys, have a great night. Be safe out there. Hit that gym. If you guys are in my age group, hit that damn gym, because being healthy and hitting the gym is more important now than it was when we were younger. Keep those joints moving and all that other great stuff. All right, you guys have a good night. It was awesome talking to you guys.